Hello everybody, my name is Farmer Phil, and in today's video we're going to get this yoke running. That yoke is running at the end of this video, by hook or by crook. We're getting this going. Oh, literally pulled up beside the power washer now. It's on the 7618. We won't be running it on the 7618. We have it here. We're going to give it a quick wash. See, can we brighten it up a bit, get some of the muck off, just leave it a little bit easier for working on. Bring it over to the workshop and we're going to start ripping. Hopefully nothing too major, too hard done, and hopefully by the end of the week we'll be pulling beet. Now, just one thing, I know some people say it would not be easier, get someone to pull beet or get a different harvester. I looked about getting a different harvester. Was none undone deal that suited at the kind of money we had, so we had to park that idea. So we're going to get this going. So I'm going to get the washer, see what way it cleans up. So we're over at the workshop now, outside obviously because the 1200 is in the shed. So I have my Milwaukee grease gun ready for action and some releasing fluid. So I'm going to go around and grease and spray things and just start kind of getting things on the road to moving a bit. So one thing I know has to be done anyways is all our cables have to come off. So I got lots of releasing fluid into that, and just go around and start greasing like a madman and just make a start at it. So it is night number 2 at the beet harvester. So it's just myself. Father Phil is away working. So last night I didn't have the camera, but when he eventually got in, we had a quick run through it, and he says the first thing to do was get the belts off and to free up all of them, and there's a lot of them on it. I'll show you, they run in between. They kind of guide the belt, keep a grip on the belt so the tops of the beet go up. So there's a lot of them in it. We also have to replace these 2 slides because there's a lot of holes in it, and them holes will like catch the tops and cause problems. First job anyways is to get the belt off, so it just makes getting at them a little bit easier, hopefully. So I have to come up here, and the belt is on them and them, and then that hole just slides that away. I think that's on a slide. That side looks handy enough, but this looks to be on a different contraption altogether. There's a spring on that there. It's just there, and there's another one there, so I presume they're the 2. But anyways, they have to be both let off. That hole has to be slid that way, then these belts pop off, then we can get at these. We have to get them spinning and get that there moving. I gave them a couple of tips with the hammer last night, and kind of got a bit of a move on them. But yeah, that's a start anyways. And then this chain doesn't seem too bad. Get a bit of oil or something wrapped onto it. I'm up here, have the cover gone off the top. You can see the chain, interesting waist driven. It's up and around and about and down and around and all the rest. Not exactly clean up here, but it'll have to do once I get grease and everything. That's the main thing. But we get these bolts opened up here, so we get these belts off. Getting them belts off will make it easier working on the rollers or the tighteners or the squeezers or whatever. I can't remember what Father Phil called them now. Get cracking. So it is night number 2 at the harvester, and I was having issues up here getting this saw loosened. This contraption here, which is, it's a spring there, so it allows that whole unit to go that way. So as Father Phil was telling me, if a stone come up between the belts when it got to there, that had moved so it wouldn't break them. Father Phil says he's seen them shafts breaking where a stone got in between the belts and broke it. It is raining a bit, so that contraption would not let off the pressure off that, which is a bit like a kind of a a knuckle kind of a joint because the pressure in the spring it kind of caught, levered itself, and I could not. Everything else is loose up there. It'll all slide down now as I need it to. And when I was having trouble with that, went into Father Phil to see what to do. He said just cut the belt off it. So when I come back out, I cut the belt off it, and I just have it out between all of them. 2 belts just on the ground there, waiting to go to the bin. So now my job is get the grease gun, get the hammer, and that one's moving, that one's moving, that one's moving. Go through all these, make sure they're all taking grease and all moving. Some of them, that one's not moving, that one's not moving. So yeah, Father Phil says there's nylon bushings in them, so they shouldn't be too hard got moving. And then make sure that all of them will pull in and out. So yeah, make sure they're all free that way. Get cracking at this. So I'm after going through the very top one to the very bottom one. I have all of them moving, so all the springs, they're all moving. But unfortunately, a lot of ones this side aren't. Far side, for whatever reason, moving. Near side, not. Father Phil says when the belts are on, giving them a tip should get them to go, so take his word on it. I have it all sprayed up with releasing fluid just to help break it up. We have 2 need to be replaced, so you can see that there, and the other one down there to be replaced. I think that was really it. It's not too bad. And I also greased up bits in the front. These 2 main ones are spinning lovely. Greased up that, greased up there while I was up there. So the chain is slack now, so I just have to remember before he goes turning the haul on, that haul needs to be tightened up before he tries to spin it. The next step for me tomorrow night is to pull apart the shaft, get it greased up. And I think a new issue we could have here, just looking, Father Phil said something to me, I was just looking and spraying up things. These here, the 2 little, you could say like bushings that sits into, and that's part of what like swivels when that tips up, are completely rotted. They definitely wouldn't hold up to any real weight, so I have to do something about that. It is another night and we are back at the bee harvester, but from the last time you seen it, I've a lot done. I didn't pull out the camera last night gone by, so you missed the whole workings, and I got quite a bit done. I just didn't feel like pulling out the camera, to be honest, but I got a lot done. Some of which, she's now fully greased. Every grease nipple I could find everywhere. Even in the middle there, I have everything greased. Even the slides for the tipper, all's greased. All's taking grease, happy out. And as you can tell here, I have this ripped. So this is part of what kind of pivots and makes the bin tip up and makes it all come back. And it was on them 2 bushings there, which are completely rotten, just to give you an idea of how rotten they are. Look at that, like it's completely rotted. So got them off quite easily, to be very honest. I just need to get 2 new of them and just slide it back in, but it's all free, which is what I like to see. We have the PTO shaft pulled apart, greased, all is perfect there. I'm finished here. I have everything done. We have to change 2 of the wheels, change that one there, and I think I need 2 springs. Other than that, that's good. Still have to take off these cables. Yes, the other thing I've done as well is I have these spinning. Them down there I can't spin because the tension of the elevators on it, you can't spin them, but I've given them a tip, done everything I've done with others to get them running. And the next job, and I started into it last night, is start taking off pipes. So we're going to take off all the pipes, supply pipes, any pipes that don't look good, and get them all replaced tomorrow, and I'll fit them tomorrow night. And then we're just down to the bits we need arriving for it, which is basically just the belts, some spare caster wheels, or them wheels on that, and our 2 bushings there, which isn't too bad, and hopefully that gets us out. But yeah, so now it's just a night of taking pipes off, marking them some way that I know where they come from, and yeah. But yeah, other fun fact, so far I've done it all myself. Father Phil hasn't even come out and looked at it while I've been at it. I've so far managed to pull it all apart myself. A right few pipes to be changed, but we get stuck into it. First pipes off are the pipes for the unloading bin. One long one and one short one, and yes, there's a lot of oil everywhere. Mother's not going to be too happy, but we're getting pipes off. So 2 pipes driving the top motor there are off. This pipe here, which went from there to there, you can see what happened when I went to open it. It just shat itself. That's why we're changing all the pipes. So this pipe, I could not get the pipe off the fitting that goes into the pump, so I just took the fitting off. So hopefully now in the vise it'll be more agreeable. Oh, I have to just tighten it. So up. All I've left to rip now is the supply pipes to the 2 main motors for the carousels and the 2 feed pipes. They'll be the ones under the most pressure, so definitely don't want any issues there. Get some trusted tissue just to shove into the end of it, stop any dirt going in. So all I've left to do is rip the pipes off the carousels because they're completely gone, and the one underneath. So 4 more pipes there, 2 more pipes there, and we're good. So I don't know what night it is. Well, I know what day it is, but I don't know what night it is in terms of working on the harvester. We have all our bits here. It is absolutely freezing. We have our belts, cables, new pulleys to go on, springs. We have 2 slides there, or 2 slides are inside. I got my pipes today, so they're cable tied in the pairs that I took them off in, so I have some kind of idea how to put them back. So the old pipes and new pipes are all with each other. So happy days there. This is Mara getting them all on. We're basically near enough at the point to put back. So I've taken off one of the guides. So I've taken off that guide this side, so you can see right in to all these. You can see to change them. There's literally no changing them. They are absolutely, the tops are absolutely knackered. So I don't know what I'm going to do. So I have to change that one there, that one there. I have to get them 2 guides and them 2 and that guide off, and that's kind of it. Have to figure out, cannot for the life of me get this lower pulley to release and start sliding down. Not sure what is holding it, so I'm going to heat up that nut, see will it expand or crack or do something that I can open it. It's not even tight on it, like, so I'm at a bit of a loss as to what the problem is there. But I need that to slide down so that I'll have the tension, enough slack to get the belt on it, otherwise I'll be in trouble. Other than that, let's put back the pipes. We're basically, like, it's getting there now. I'm hoping to spend all day Monday at it, and by Monday evening maybe see a field. So we get all we can done tonight. And one thing too, it's that cold. I don't know what it is. It was -6 this morning, so probably -4 or that maybe, I have no idea. But the camera does not like the cold very much, and it keeps letting the battery die. So yeah, we are on the road to back together. I've been at it here for 3 hours. I just decided to film now because the camera is not lasting, the battery just does not last in this cold. But I have the new, see it there in the bottom, it's the problem, you want 3 hands when you're working a light and a camera. I have my new one down there, and I have all of these boys spinning. I think they're starting to freeze now after getting them. Yeah, they've all decided to freeze up now after getting them spinning earlier. And I have a new one on there too. One more to put on, so I just said I'd show you what I'm doing to put them on. So I have an M16 bolt. It's the right size that fills the hole in it. Now they were M12s in that, so I've had to bore out that just to make the new stud fit. And then I packed inside of the bearings with grease because there is no grease nipples on it, and that's it. Just to give you an idea of how cold it is, when I went to get the drill, and the drill, mind you, was in the workshop, and this was when it was daylight, the drill was frozen. For anyone outside of Ireland, this temperature we're getting at the minute is probably, it's just like a pig, but normally it doesn't get this cold here. So what am I doing? Yes, put down the camera, bolt, So that's it. Once that is spinning, that is that whole armature done. So I'm ready to put back on the belt now. So I think to take off the belt, take off all the springs, get the belt up in the middle of it right, and then start putting back on the springs. The only thing I haven't ripped off yet is I haven't ripped off my 3 cords here. But I checked to see that everything was loose there, that wasn't going to have any issues. I'm just waiting to do that in maybe, when it's not freezing, just in case something will go wrong on me. That's there. So next thing I'm going to do is put on my 2 new, they're the old ones, 2 new bushings, I think is the right word for them, to go on either side there. Put that back in, grease her up, and then after that it's all my pipes to go back and get the pipes on it. And yeah, that's really it. It's the belts and it's the cables and ready to go. Just on some other things on the Beet, that 2 things on the last video when we were pulling the Beet by the hand, I just wanted to clarify. One was, I was talking about club root. So club root is a disease that affects brassica crops, but I wasn't referring to the disease as with the Beet. It was how the roots on the Beet around the gaps are kind of all grown round and into each other. That's, I was describing that has club root, not the actual that had the disease club root. That was one thing to clarify. The other one was, we were reckoning was a mineral deficiency, this, that and the other, and I think the general consensus in the comments and from talking to people in that, it was to do with the dry weather, that the Beet, apart from where the gaps were, where it was really bad, or where the high compaction was behind the field, and that it was the lack of moisture in the ground after sowing. If we started to put how hex roots to try and find more moisture, we found at the bottom of the field where it's wet, the Beet was perfect. There wasn't, it was like normal Beet. So that was that. The last thing I said, based on Father Phil's maths, that it was, there's 121 rows of Beet, it's 6 rows to the load, that's 18.5 load, 10 ton to the load, it's 180 ton. Off 2.5 acres, it's like saying, well, where's the other 4 acres that you're pulling there to get that kind of a ton? I said it without thinking about, just Father Phil gave me them figures. I was like, yeah, that's that. But I didn't step back and say, wait a minute, that's not right. And it's not just a little, it's not like saying you had an extra half a ton or a ton or even 5 ton for that matter to an acre. Having 180 ton, you'd have 7 acres or that to get that kind of a yield, and even at that 7 acres at 30 ton, still only 150 ton. Copped it as soon as someone put a comment, hang on a second, that isn't right, and I was off. Reality is that that crop should do somewhere between around the 22 to 28 ton mark, I think. Other Beets would be doing 30 ton-ish, but then you have dirt tear and other things to take in consideration. But realistically, that field is going to yield anywhere from 50 to 70 tons, roughly speaking, is what that field should yield. May not, it's some of these things, we'll weigh a load, we'll counter loads, we'll see what exactly we have. Anyways, I'm going to go get these inside jobs done and then we'll get back to this and we'll finish her up. We're here now, ready to put the bushings back on this. So this is part of the armature that brings up the bucket to unload her and then flips it over to unload it. So I have new bushings here, packed them in full of grease there. I don't know how well you can see it. I have all I need, but the one thing that I have, this is fine that way, but it's frozen that way. So, blow torch and retort. That's it thawed out. I have to get both of these put on. Just like daisy. That's up into position. So you can see there, that's the armature. Puts the 2 rods there down to that, and that's part of what makes it go up and then flip over. Tightening these up now, and yes, I am wearing odd gloves I could find because everything freezes. Earlier when I was doing a bit, I had the chisel and hammer. I put down the chisel for 10-20 minutes. Went to pick the chisel up, stuck to the ground, it froze. So that's another part of the jigsaw. back together. I have all my pipes back on. Get this light. It is cold. You can see the like ice particles blowing in the moisture. So all my chest valves done there, all hooked up to all the carousels, with the exception of I can't remember which pipe is top and bottom. Luckily, Brian has been giving me a hand. He sent me pictures of the chest valves because I didn't do a great job filming it to remember it. So I'm going to ask him which pipe goes to the top and bottom of that. That's it, pipes are done. And we are well on the way now, well on the way. All that's left now is belts, covers on that. Belts all includes tightening up. That's on. That's it, it's literally down to tighten them two. Figure out where them two go. Belts, covers, new cables on. And I think that's it, we're ready to go. Hopefully tomorrow when Father Phil is back, I get all the jobs done, I get back at this, and we're ready to go pull Beet Saturday. If I have time, I might change the work lights on it. So anyways, I'm going to get down out here, go warm myself up. But tomorrow, this should be running. We are literally, we're on the final straight here now. So what are you doing on your very tidy bench?
I go away for a few days, you're not going to cover the place. Huh? How am I doing? My head, but it's only an 8mm bolt. It's soft as butter, so I just went to my box of
Tap and dies.
As you can see, I have to have the old reinforcements on when the finer
details have to come out.
Details is, see, I'm in a mountain, but I can't see a thing on my end of my nail.
Managed to get bits, and we're reusing reusing what we had to get the cables working.
This was ghost.
Yeah.
On the end of one of the blocks. The rest of them were all seized. I've been very lucky that they have all unseized.
Yeah.
Without hands and breaking or going into bits. Handles, the ends of the cables just can't be got.
Yeah.
I was lucky enough to get a new one of those.
Yeah.
Even though it was that much too long, I had to cut them two bits off it.
Yeah.
It was a lot longer here, so we just had to make it work.
Another day, another cold day, not as cold as the last couple. And the harvester, Father Phil, is now back from his holidays, and we are near enough there. So Father Phil last night put on the new cables. We're missing handles, so Father Phil's gone to the garage to get handles because our handles never came, and we just need to get this done. So last night then I fitted new work lights. Well, they're not new, they're old lights off the umbilical system, but they're good enough for what I need to do. So two, one there, but we're all done now. We're all done, we were all tightened up, so we're ready to put on the tractor and give it a spin and see that everything moves, and then put on the belts. It's just a matter of getting them handles back on. But we were planning on going on the 6290, but we have a wee issue in our measurements. The measurement from the hitch to the edge of the wheel, it's too wide. We looked at then how tight could we go in with the wheel. We could go in 4 inches, or is it 5? No, it's 4 inches on that lug. Take them all off, turn the wheel, put in, rebolt them the other side. Brought us in, but it was still leaving us very, very, very tight. So we said we better go back to how we used to pull it, and the 3075 is getting an upgrade. A job upgrade, so Troy is just giving the windows a clean there for us. But the reason we can go on the 3075 without any issue is because the hitch on the 3075 can swing to the side, so our drawbar now becomes much easier to work, so we don't have to do anything with the wheels on it, except for we have to change our front wheels. We'll put back on the 4-wheel drive shaft, and then that goes on. So I'm going to go get the tires, and we'll go change the front wheels on that, and then when Father Phil comes back, get the 4-wheel drive shaft off. But on the Beet harvester, give her a spin. hopefully everything goes all right. Put our cables back together, belt on, and by tonight we should be ready to pull Beet. That's the plan. Anyways, that's it. So yeah, this is probably a hell of a long video, because this feels like I've been at this a very long time, but we are finally approaching the home run. So anyways, we keep at it. 3075 now has a 4-wheel drive shaft. Once again, took a bit of going, but we got it. It is literally time to put it on the Beet harvester. Father Phil is just working on sorting out the handles for the cables. So, moment of truth. It's time to start her up, see what happens. So what you see Father Phil doing there is the 2 forks he's his foot on. They're connected to a little valve in a chest block up there, and what that does is it allows it to follow the row of Beet while you're driving. So as the Beet tops kind of push it side to side, it'll push the drawbar in and out to adjust itself.
Self-steering.
Self-steering.
Middle lever.
Middle lever. Push. Not doing anything. Technical issues. Turns out, in my infinite wisdom, is that catching pipes there? That has put the pipes on the wrong way around. There we go.
I know that's set water skating all over the place.
Please don't take anything on there, one or two. Right, it's your turn. Keep it on. That's working. That's working. That's tipping. Just needs more grease. It's not just coming down. They were spinning. Both of them were spinning.
Yeah, perfect. But what them? The next thing you should just snap that trace.
So that's what's wrong. There.
Yeah, the bottom two are seized, and as with wisdom,
What?
pop them two in, and that's all you have to do.
So what's that? Bolts.
2 bolts.
What do I have to do to change them?
Open the 2 bolts. Take out them.
Do I have to take off, open them, and do that?
Never touched them the last time. But it's a bigger of a job because the trace is quite tight on her. It's quite new. That was only put on the last year. We went up and lifted them.
Yeah.
And it takes a good pull to put them in now. It'll take the 2 of us and a few little bits of bees. Don't take too long now to start her up.
I've just done what I was told I wouldn't be able to do, by myself anyways. I've replaced the 2 seized wheels at the bottom of that. So 2 of the brand new wheels have gone in there. You see them cable ties is a little issue that we're going to have to look at in the morning. Has a bit of a crack in it, not happy with it, but just changed them by myself. So that's put us back on track for tomorrow morning. All we have to do is put on the belts. The belts are inside warming up at the minute. We pick it up in the morning and we see what all we get done before the video gets edited. At long last, it's taken us about 2 hours this morning, but we have all the pipes weren't on right, so we have them all right now, and all running. It's all moving now. So we solved one problem. So all that was wrong with her, we had everything running bar the trace and this. The problem was they had to be swapped. That was all. And the new problem is the bearings are gone in these, and Father Phil just wants to change them, because if they go and the trace gets to fall down, it just goes into shite, and we don't want to buy a trace because they're not cheap. Also, we need more grease on the door just to get to go down fully. It's a bit dry of itself, but why standing to attention. But yeah, that's it. Still have to sharpen it, still have to take off all the springs and get the belt on it. Yeah. We get that done Monday, and I need to get a new PTO cover for it too. I might have one in the back of the shed. And then we might be ready to pull Beet hopefully by Tuesday or Wednesday. Once it's all done by Thursday, because I'm not here for Christmas, so. Oh, pricky yoke.